Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcastic, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
I pray that my love for you is bigger than what my parents have.
So you must be my daughter's new friend?
Candy, let me ask you a question.
Oh, so this him? This the man that comforts you more than me?
Mama, all men ain't like daddy.
That's not fair!
The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Rise and grind, wanna show at 9:15 a.m. Monday through Friday, great conversation, guest appearances, 'cause you experience us on the cusp of blowing up. Boom. Wake up, wake up. Rise and grind, morning show.
Oh, there we go. It's a little bit brighter, and it's a clear picture. We done tweaked it out a little bit. Well, listen, y'all. Welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show. I just got a very disturbing message as soon as I opened up my messenger. My friend said, "Why isn't my niece talking about suicide on Facebook?" Suicide is big when it comes to young people right now, and it's crazy. I think we make life look too easy. And they just like, yeah. And sometimes we might be complaining about life too much. And they say, well, my mama, my daddy, I don't want to go through that. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean at all.
You just on your phone.
I'm not on my phone.
Yeah, what are you on?
I mean, I'm on my phone, but I don't know what you mean, though. You know,
I mean,
one thing that people need to do is clarify what they're saying.
Well, sometimes people parents make things look too hard sometimes and complain a lot. And children be like, I don't want to be like that. That's why a lot of children didn't take over their businesses, because they see how their parents struggle, and they don't understand that struggle part is going to come in life, period. It's just some things about life you're just going to have to overcome. You have to quit being a bitch about it and walk forward and walk towards it. And that's just the truth. As my mentor would say, put on your boots, because shit going to get deep.
Correct. Is that what they said?
Yeah, I'm glad you can read. Shout out to Lake. Her hair grow fast and she cut it back, it grow right back real quick.
Am I on camera yet? Is it my turn?
No. Shout out to
Okay,
Lake.
so first and foremost, hi, good morning, everybody. I missed you guys last week. I was having a mental health moment, and it made me sick in my body, and I wasn't able to get here. So for that, I apologize, but I missed you guys so much.
Aww.
Secondly, I'm talking to the camera. I'm looking at the green dot. I'm not looking at the mustard shirt.
Mustard!
But I do not believe that suicide is bigger now than it was when I was a kid. I think adolescent depression is real, regardless of social media. We talked about this on the show before. When I was 11, 12, 13, I was really having a really hard time finding myself. People were still cruel.
Yeah.
People, I didn't feel like I knew if I was coming or going, and I was going through puberty, having menstrual cycles, having emotional distress back and forth, being mean, being happy, being sad. You know what I mean? I didn't know. And then the kids around me was experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm talking.
I hate when you talk. Go ahead.
Hate is a strong word.
Well, I do.
Okay, so I try to be mindful of that when I deal with my own young person. My mom and I was discussing yesterday because my son is starting to get snappy at 13. And I'm like, okay, so you have testosterone growing. He doesn't know. It's not like you can feel it growing inside, but he's going through a certain amount of change, and it's how we handle it around him as his village that's going to have him react or not react. Correct.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like social media has been a platform for adults and children to put their feelings out there, but at the same time we got to pay attention to people before they get there, because sometimes I just did it. I had a health breakdown a couple of weeks ago on social media, crying and shit. My man don't love me. He don't want me no more. You know what I mean? And then that wasn't even true. But I felt like I wasn't being heard. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you go to social media to be heard, you know, and people. But with young people need to take it seriously. You know what I mean? Honestly.
Yeah. Can I speak now?
No. Introduce our guest.
But before we introduce our guest, I do have a gas station chronicle, and I would like to say that suicide is worse than it has ever been, because kids between the ages of 5 and 11 is killing themselves.
Are you Googling that right now?
No, it's the truth.
You don't know if it's the truth.
How you know what I know?
Because you don't know. Is that whose phone is that? Is that my phone?
Probably so. Yep. I hope you put your lipstick on crooked. Your nose start to bleed. So listen, children are killing themselves between the ages of 5 and 11 years old now at a very fast pace, due to bullying, social media bullying, and these damn video games. Video games have interrupted our children's lives in a very drastic way, because now kids get in the imaginary mind that you can unalive yourself and then come back. Because of the video game, you come back to life. And so there has been a lot of and the reason why it's not mentioned, I
want to see numbers.
I mean, if you see numbers, you can't read them. So listen, in the sense of shout out to Calvin Mann for putting me up on the suicide rate of young boys, especially. There's a high rate of young boys that is killing themselves because they're not getting attention. Boys are the least heard in the cycle of life. And if you don't believe that, you will know the history of boys learning at a very slower rate than women. It's not because women are smarter or girls are smarter. It's just that boys are given toys and girls are given books. It just is that simple. When y'all given dreams and aspirations to be like, even if you want to be like Barbie, we don't have nobody to look up to when we little. They be like, we will be like the stiff ass army guy.
Well, no one plays with stiff army toys anymore.
Yes, they do.
No, King does. He has a whole bunch. No.
Yeah. So.
I think you should bring back after school specials.
Yes.
And Punky Brewster.
We got our own Punky Brewster right here.
No, but on Punky Brewster, they used to handle life lessons like that. You know what I'm saying? They were on the shows that we used to watch. There will always be a seriousness about what was going on in the world, and suicide would be one of them. You know what I mean? Like they would talk about those things. I don't know what comes on TV right now. I don't know what kids are watching. Be a seriousness about. Does that mean?
Yep. Again.
It cannot be.
Okay, it was me.
because we do have guests today.
Yes.
But you started off by saying a gas station chronicle, and then
Yes.
you went into something else.
No, the only reason why, because I was thinking about you, and I was thinking.
No,
about
don't think about me.
Talking about you was crying
No,
and shit.
let's say good morning. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Jerry Thomas. Calvin, if you're gonna come on here and correct me, then don't come on here. Say, good morning, Calvin. I love Calvin.
Shout out to our guy, the underrated darkness in Virginia. He check us out every morning. Shout out to him. And man, drop your link of your show inside of the thread, brother.
Please
we
do.
want to hear and see. We want to hear from you. 2 people are watching on YouTube, so that's dope.
Yeah, 2 people.
2.
I love that for us.
Yes. Wait a minute, hold
Miss
on.
Rhea and her mama.
No, that ain't Miss Rhea. I think that's me in the darkness, though. This is the guy from Virginia. But anyway, hey,
Good morning, Yamina.
Yamina, we gonna have it out on Girth. She be trying to go ham on Girth, and
She be standing up.
we sit her ass down.
Did she come on, Gerb?
No.
She was in the comments.
She was in the comments.
I seen her yesterday.
Oh, no,
I did.
She's a beautiful woman.
Lord.
The gas station chronicles. I went to another gas station today, and it didn't work out neither. Gas station coffee. I think when you go to a gas station, you see mouth shops. Just don't get no coffee.
Okay, so for one, I'm so irritated right now.
I can tell
because I am irritated.
It's your Matte lipstick.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
It's the lip bar and it's popping.
Okay.
You and this gas station coffee. We are here talking about health today, and you're gonna start off the conversation with the most unhealthy look for gas station coffee. We done had this conversation over and over and over again about mice and poop and gas station coffee.
There's nothing wrong with gas station coffee if it's a clean gas station. Speedway. I'm gonna start going to Speedway. Shout out to Speedway. Hey y'all, but listen, we got some guests in the building.
Calvin said he agreed with me. I like him again. He's my favorite.
That's Calvin Deal? Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's my favorite. We never met in person, but
of course, both of y'all blind. So listen, can you introduce our guests for the day?
They can introduce themselves.
No. Rude ass.
How you ladies doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. And
good morning.
Beauty on the end, you are?
I'm LaJoy Morgan of L&M Healing Umbrella.
Oh, wow. And what is that?
It's a therapy, my private practice. Well, so I do mental health as well as substance abuse.
Are you a therapist?
Yes, ma'am.
I need help. That's the first step, right?
Okay.
I've been saying I wasn't going to go to therapy, but I think I need therapy.
Please.
I'm serious.
I'm dead serious.
Well, everybody needs therapy, including myself. So
the therapists need therapy. See, that's what I'm talking about. I quit. I don't want to do it no more. I'm gonna drive you crazy. You ain't never met a Pisces like me. You gonna be like, girl, let me lay down for a second. Okay, and you are Beauty?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Arlene Daly. I am a community engagement educator in Southeast Michigan.
Look at it. She just popped her cherry on the mic.
Yes. Thank you.
It's your first time?
It's my first time.
Yeah, I like when the first time happened. And I served her first cup of coffee of the day.
Ooh. Yes.
Yeah, ooh.
Well, this is actually my second cup.
Now I feel like I come second.
Yeah.
Story of my
put
life.
me first.
You should come second.
Yeah.
But make sure you stay in the game. Yeah.
Wait a minute. That thing working fast. Anyway, go ahead. All right, then. Go ahead. Good.
So today we are talking about
what we talking about?
health balances.
You wait for the title to come up.
Healthy balances.
She like, today we're talking about Shanny, put the Q out.
Or say something. You know the Q.
But no, the Q is the topic of the day is
healthy balances.
Yeah. I believe healthy balances definitely mentally is do what you love first. If you do what you love, whose fault is that? Who cut it off?
Well, you know, everybody got to find that healthy balance in between.
Somebody's phone is on. It's just a volume. Okay, but you was about to say, Joe.
I said everybody needs to find that healthy balance in their life. You know, with the society that we're living in today, as you guys were talking earlier, with the internet, the children, the work at home, everybody's angry, driving mad. So if you don't find that balance, you gonna crash out. You know, and that's unfortunate because that's what we don't want.
Right. No, you're absolutely correct. I have a strong belief that when you do things that you love, though, it's hard to crash out. You know what I mean?
Is it?
Yes, when you do things that you love. Now, if you do things just to survive, then yeah, you're gonna be on the edge all the time. I think that's the problem. That majority of us is taught to work in survival mode, 365, 7 days a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess 365 will be 7 days a week. Anyway, but the whole thing is that we are just taught just to live through it and go through it instead of do it.
That's correct.
We're not taught to do it. When Nike came out with the theory to just do it, that's the realest slogan I ever heard in my entire life. Just do it. If anybody is familiar with the Bison advantage, they would understand that's like the just do it factor. Like bisons do not run against the storm; they go towards the storm because they understand two things. One, vegetation is coming because rain just came. You know what I mean? So evidently things gonna be growing, sprouting up, and coming out for other animals to go to. You know what I mean? Correct. Worms and other things come out the earth when it rains. And they also, when the winters come about, they actually use what they have. So the way their heads are shaped like a shovel. You know what I mean? So they just keep going through and they plow through life by just doing it. They don't shelter. They don't hide. You know what I mean? But also, a bison is one of the healthiest animals on earth. Is because it takes on all earthly things. You know?
No, we don't.
You know what?
You was gonna say
No, I know you don't, but I'm just saying everybody else might do. So we're not gonna look. Stop it. So, like they say, if you eat honey from your local area, because the bees are familiar with the germs and things like that. So it helps fight on what you're doing better. And the bison. That's all they do, and they one of the healthiest meats to eat. I ain't gonna lie, I tasted bison before, and I felt smarter. Like you need some. I think you need some. I think you need some meat in your life. So yeah, stop it.
We're trying to find your point.
We need another host.
Trying to find your point.
Then the point is just be happy with your life and know where you're going and have direction, and don't be afraid. And when I meet people who's afraid, I find out 9 times out of 10 they don't know how to swim.
So you saying I don't know what the fuck just happened. He said when you do what you love, people are less likely to crash out.
That will kind of sort of.
Because I don't agree with that, and this happens a lot on the show. He say something, I disagree. But from
you believe the earth flat but go ahead.
Your perspective, you know, because you're like,
well, you know, society. A lot of people can't do what they want to do all the time because life be lifing. Like I love music. In my process of raising my children, I kind of put what I like to do on the back burner. Yeah, I listen to the radio, but I remember those Saturdays and Sunday mornings when I just played my CDs and cleaned the whole house. I don't have time for that. So my things that I like to do, I had to put them behind me until later on in life, you know. So now I'm back to doing what I like to do.
Yeah, you better than me. I would have made my kids become DJs. I'm like, I'm DJing for the day, you know, because I believe kids need to work off the rip. I'm sorry, I'm a strong believer. I don't believe if there's a parent in the house that you should not have to take out the trash. If the child is 7 or 8 years old, they need to take out the trash. I believe there should be no dirty place in the house if the children is over the age of 9. And it's not that they slave. It's not that I'm slave driver. It's just like they have to learn discipline, and they learn respect, and then as they get older, they'll learn how to clean house. And if it's a boy, he don't have to sit back and be funky and just sitting on his ass. You know what I mean?
I don't know. So healthy balance.
That's a healthy balance. Keeping your ass clean is a healthy balance.
You know.
Yeah.
You don't believe that, Lake?
No, I absolutely. Like for me, if you want to talk about children and things like that, I'm probably not the best parent when it comes to getting a kid out the bed and making them clean my house and things like that. He has a few chores.
There you go.
And most of it is do what I say when I asked you to.
Oh.
Because it's the two of us. I like to do my own dishes. You know, I make the majority of them. I try to keep plastic things in the house, but I really don't want to eat behind King washing dishes. I just don't. You know what I mean? And maybe I can teach him and take that time. But when you're on the go constantly, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. So like when I go grab my coffee cup, I don't need oil on it because I don't know what it is. And my son like to wash dishes in cold water. Like,
Oh no.
But and when I think about healthy balances when it comes to teenagers, what we were talking offline is them being able to have the time to decompress. Is that the word? Like,
yes.
Decompress is the word, but I agree with Miles as far as these kids need some type of structure.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Because the generation that's coming along, they have no structure. They're raising themselves. So they're the parents. So as the parents is hanging out, the parents are doing whatever, and the kids are out here on the streets doing whatever.
I feel judged.
I mean,
I'm just joking.
But you have to see what's going on with the kids. You got to be able to not be so stuck in the past where you can't relate. I relate. I see things, but I also am open to try to, finagle a little bit so they won't feel like they're being pressured. But in my household, I'm like, Miles, you're going to wash the dishes. There's not going to be no dishes in the sink when I go to bed at night. I don't care.
Sure.
I have 4 daughters.
Yeah.
And they talk mess every day about my rules. But if you can't follow my rules, you got to go.
Yeah.
That's great, yeah.
I have 3 daughters. So it's very important to me that I prepare them for their future in terms of them being wives. Like, hey, you're going to have to keep it clean. You're going to have to do the dishes. You're going to have to pick up some of these recipes that follow down in generations to come. So it does take a village. And unfortunately, I feel that it's something that has changed. I think technology has basically kind of interrupted the family structure in terms of communication and balance.
Yeah.
Now, how old are you guys' daughters so I can send my son in? I'll make sure he know how to work and provide.
I know that's right. No,
Because he ain't doing no dishes. But y'all, that's 7 chances he got over here. Like,
Second chances.
Yeah.
So I have a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 17-year-old.
Okay, he could probably get that 17-year-old. He only 13, but catch him in 10 years. All right.
No, I'll go for the oldest one. Anyway, so listen, here's the thing what I've learned, though. I think when raising girls, my daughter, I was teaching my daughter how to cook on the stove when she was 7, right? And it's only because I had an electric stove, by the way. So I didn't have no fire stuff. So I was teaching her how to cook when she was 7. And it's only because in life, my mother started preparing me when I was 7. As far as how to cook.
Do you think that girls be wanting to do those things? I remember when I was 8, 9, I would go around the corner to the library and I would get cookbooks and stuff. And I would get non-stove cookbooks so I could show my grandma and my mom that if I could make this, then they could start letting me use the stove and things like that. Like, is it embedded in women? Because I like
No.
my son like don't leave me nothing I gotta cook.
No, this new generation, they don't want to cook. Everything is DoorDash.
Listen, my daughter told me, "Can I DoorDash?" I said, "No, we can hit that door and go dash our way to the store." And it's only because, listen, AI is already going to wipe out. They say 67% of the workforce within 2 to 3 years. 67%. That's over goddamn 11 million people.
Yeah.
Jobs. Some of them gonna be lost forever. And if you don't learn how to use AI, they will be forever, and you will be a degenerate sitting in the corner. Your child will be telling you what to do because they are being raised on AI now, and they're learning that. As well as the robots or AI is learning us, the children is learning how to manipulate AI. And those are going to be our future. And that's how fucked up we're going to be later in life. And also they say within the next 10 or 15 years, you will begin to see 5 to 6 generations of family in front of your face. That's sad. And that's crazy. I'm talking about 14, 28, 34. You'll be seeing 5 generations of life. And guess what? It's just going to be just...
Do you just like Google random facts and be like, I'm just going to throw that in the middle of the conversation?
No. No.
You got your computer open like, let me see where this one fits.
No. This is real. This is real because grandmothers are now 39, 42 years old.
I don't know them people.
No, yes, you do.
I don't.
You just don't know their grandmas. But trust
I don't know them.
They are.
They got a show on this network?
No.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is real, and it's sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're looking at a 42-year-old grandmother.
So, ladies, from your
I hear it, but you know, when you think about generations before us, they were having babies pretty young.
Yeah, but the fathers was there too.
Were they?
Yes. Hell yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, you know, black unity.
What generation are we referring to?
In the 70s, 60s, 50s. Yeah.
So let me tell you, my oldest daughter's 37. I have 37, 33, 27, and 16.
He was busy. Go ahead.
But each of those children was raised in a different generation. So now my 16-year-old is totally different. I was a grandmother at 36. My middle daughter got pregnant at 14. She had her at 15. I wasn't ready to be a grandma. But the difference is she has no husband. You know, she was a single parent. Not saying it didn't exist back then, but the black family was more united than what they are now.
All day.
You know, the kids wasn't raising themselves. You know, we got whooped with the switch and a belt. You whoop your kids with the switch and a belt, CPS gonna be at your door.
Yeah.
Or your kid might shoot you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they don't believe in the parents telling them what to do.
And they be saying shit like this. I call the police.
Yeah.
My daughter tried that shit with me one time. She's like, Dad, I call police. That's okay.
So I have a question. Arlen, this is probably your area of expertise. Do you think that a lot of this craziness goes on because of the diets that we keep and the health choices that we're making currently? Everything is quick.
Yes, so the nutrients that we were probably raised upon are missing. One in particularly is magnesium, right? So not saying that the things from back in the day didn't impact us. I just feel like better quality of food was accessible versus now, because again, it's quick, push it out, boost it up with all these different things to make sure we can get it out. Right. So it does play a part on your health, your mental health for sure. You looking at the Flint water crises and how the residents there are passed away. Like there were deaths, there were children that are unable to compete in school. Now, we grew up with the lead and the paint and so on and so forth, and some of those things came out years later, but it does play a part in your overall health and your impact. And I think as we're in a society and instantaneous, like we want it now, you know, and I think there is a good thing in planting and seeing that soil grow and naturally and all those things. And that's spiritually, that's physically, that's naturally. And I think once you manipulate those things, it takes away from the quality of life, the quality of just living, right? So I do feel like the changes in society are really is impacting our youth in terms of you put a kid in front of a TV, you give them some snacks, and you don't even know what's in there.
Right.
You don't know what we weren't taught to look at the back of a product and say, what is this?
She absolutely correct.
Half the stuff that's in there, I don't know what they are. I'm not even gonna lie.
But if you Google them now,
I could just ask AI.
Yeah, but you'll be almost disgusted because it's like our government is allowing people to literally kill us. Mm-hmm. It's a black man. 3 years ago, he tried to place the United States government for committing a genocide through food. Right? Mm-hmm. He has then all of a sudden had something like Parkinson's. I can't pronounce the disease, but everybody thinks he was targeted. You know what I mean? Because he put the government on, went to court, y'all commit genocide.
Well, one of the great things I think about social media and TikTok, everything, there's a lot of people who are putting food on blast. Yeah. My fear is everybody think that they're a health professional now. And so I swear, the amount of reels I get daily about eat this food, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to listen to.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Because it's too much. Everybody thinks that they're a professional by sharing somebody else's word. And I think you and I discussed this before. You're not gonna give me healthy food advice and be on the phone with me at Burger King. Stop doing that. I mean, I don't like that. Is just a pet peeve of mine. It's just like people who I know you're cheating on your wife, but you want to send me videos about what a good woman is. You got a good woman, but you're cheating on her. You know what I mean? I can't hear you.
That don't even make sense.
It makes sense to me.
No, listen.
Because it's irritating.
No, it's irritating to you because you're not open. You're not coachable like that. Listen.
Now I'm not coachable.
No, but listen. It's not an attack. I'm just telling you the truth. If a person, no matter where they at in life, right, and they just pushing it towards you, because you might be their motivation. You could be that one. Listen, you might be that one thing that changed them. A lot of times, people not giving you advice to tell you you're doing bad and they're doing good. Sometimes people just pushing on you because they want to see you be better, and then in return, they be like, "Damn, did that shit." Not, I want to do that.
I like hardcore conversations. I don't like reels. I like to talk to my friends about what they've learned. I tell my brother this all the time. If you watch a reel and you learn something, then when you come visit me, because I see him almost every day, let's talk about it. Let's have a real personal conversation about what you've learned instead of you reeling me all day like we busy. I wanna. If you see the amount of reels I get from people, I had to ask people, "What do you do for a living?" Because if you can send me 20 reels a day, then I want your job.
Well, sometimes
but I like talking to you. I'll pick up the phone.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about the fact that bread here contains bleach and it has different how we do the weed, and you actually learn and you can articulate. The difference between bread in the U.S. and bread in Europe. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Don't send me a reel about it because I don't know that guy. I know you.
Yeah, but sometimes people. So here's what I've learned. I know a lot of intelligent people in my life, and I send people reels all the time. The only reason I send this a lot of times is because whoever was the quickest one I could share with, whoever was the quickest one I could share with, that's one I send it to. Because it saves me time for looking for it again because I can't send it to myself. So you can. I will learn that. Teach me that trick.
Right. Just type in your own name.
Oh, see,
I share it to yourself. I share myself all recepies. All DIYs, things that I'm interested in from doing my hair. I share it to me.
I don't know how to do that. Whoever's the first one on my What's Music where I go share, whoever pop up, that's what I send it to.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So I have a question. You just aged yourself so bad. It's so bad.
Hey, I'm 53. I'm 53 and I'm proud.
Oh Lord.
Right.
So when it comes to healthy balances and you guys' professional career, I'm so sick of him.
Stop clapping.
What advice do you have? What your professional daily works, like in your professional daily works? What do you push the most to people?
Finding peace, and finding your triggers. So if you can say, well, this job is stressing me out, you identifying what your problem is. So if you don't know what is going on in your life, you have to self-evaluate yourself. You got to make time for you. So you get paid and you pay all your bills, but you don't pay yourself. That's not a healthy balance. You need to pay yourself first, then pay your bills. You need to find some type of peace in your life. Like Miles said, his music, something that you like to do. You can't pour all of you into something and leave nothing for yourself.
Oh, that's a word.
That is a word. What about you, Miss Lady?
So it's tough, right? One of my reasons of going into higher education was that work-life balance. Raising kids, realistically, a single mom, hustle, bustle, there isn't really any space or time to say, you know what, I need to have my me time, right? So one, figuring out a path that'll allow you to have balance. And once you establish what that looks like, soar. Do that thing till you can't do that thing, right? So find out what it is that you need to do to help you be healthy and happy. What does healthy look like to you? If it's taking 10 minutes in the morning, shutting down phone, technology, I don't want to hear anything. I just need to get in with myself and then be productive throughout this day. Take it day by day, one step at a time, because it's going to take some time to get out of that cycle of gotta go here, gotta do this, gotta go get the groceries. There are some perks to where we are in this generation where you can have your groceries delivered. I was always in the grocery store at least 3 or 4 times a week, which is crazy, right? That takes so much out of my time. But find a path and a passion that you have and run with it.
Yes.
I don't know what my passion is.
Well, but that's at least you're honest. You have people who just constantly just doing stuff, and when they do, they break down so quick because they get overwhelmed with everything. Because what is that?
Like photography would be a passion.
She said no. She made that clear.
She's great at it.
Yeah, but
I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
it is an interest, and it's an interest that I've had for 30 years. I think I was about 8 or 9 when I asked my mother. I got my first Polaroid camera. And then I mean, if you knew me as a kid, I always had a camera, a disposable, one of those ones that you remember the cameras that you used to get developed. I had film. I had a digital camera. I've always taken pictures, but
can I ask you a question? Have you ever just took pictures for you, not of a person, but things that you love?
That's why I know it's not my passion.
Gotcha.
Because I don't. It's definitely about work. Okay. If I'm not working, even when I'm doing free work, like I was doing my nephew's graduation party on Sunday. He didn't pay me, but it was work. I still look at that but as far as what I do for me, I haven't been able to identify my gifts yet.
Well, you definitely have to dig deep and find them, because you don't want them to find you at the wrong time.
I'll be trying to dig deep and I just end up orgasming.
That's healthy.
Well, since you're talking about digging, what tool did you use?
I got one of the massage guns.
Stop.
I mean, just kind of piggyback off of what you were talking about. You got to learn how to disconnect. I find that as me being at this age, I have a hard time turning my mind off. When I go to bed at night, I only get 4 hours of sleep because I'm up thinking, I got to do this, how I'm going to work this out. And so I think that's something that we all struggle with when we get a certain age. We don't get enough rest. We don't get 8 hours of sleep. We don't know how to disconnect from work. Everything is right now. I got to get this done. I got to get that done. You got to learn how to disconnect from all work.
Yeah. Because I think that comes from us believing that we're not going to live that long.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, the reason why I said
It's probably that survival.
I got to 86.
I'm talking about survival.
I got another 40 years.
It's a survival mode thing. We don't, like I told my friend, he said, man, I don't want to start just making music. Nah, I'm 53. I'm like, but you can make music. You ain't trying to be a rap star. You know what I mean? Hell, if you want to be an R&B sensation, you can start now.
Yes.
That's a particular musical craft that's not being shut down. You could be a soul artist, R&B soul artist. No matter, you could be whoever you want to be.
Yes.
When God places things in people's hearts and give them vision, I tell people all the time, boys have dreams, men have vision, and that's only because when you at a particular age, you dream of all these things. You can just dream. But then when you get to that adult age, you need to start having vision, because vision gives you more insight on which direction you're going.
Correct.
And Helen Keller was basically saying, like, men and women who can see are crazy. They want to look what's in front of them. I can see around the corner, and she don't have visual sight. And she was just saying, like, go for what you love. You go for what you love to do, you're going to win every time.
So I got a question for all three of you. Shannon, are you on?
Sure.
All of you. Do you feel like you're doing what you love?
I do.
I'm getting there.
I'm definitely doing what I love. Have done what I love. Always did.
That's a yes. Okay, so
that's why you the least liked.
Am I? You know, I think people come on and be like they love Lake. Like when was she at last week?
I'm talking about the least liked at this table. So
please, I would say for me, I think that I am doing what I love to do. I just think that I need to find a balance with just balancing life and then just what I like to do or just work. So
somebody say disconnect as much as possible and set healthy boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's it right
Mika
there for
Smith.
me.
Mika, what
Shout out to
Mika Smith.
But I don't know, like, what's a healthy boundary? I mean, what how is that defined?
Well, I think it's difference between individuals. You know what I'm saying? So, me personally, my healthy boundaries is my peace mean everything. So whether it's a job, whether it's going to the kids' football game, anything that brings me or disturb my peace has to be eliminated.
Yeah. For me, it's whatever is triggering. That's how I know, you need to establish a boundary. You know, we've gone and walked through this life with a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
You know, we have past generations of trauma that sometimes is swept under the rug, our history is erased, and we're left with a wound where we're like, man, I don't feel good about this. You know what I'm saying? So tapping into yourself, listening to yourself, even listening to your body saying, this is why you need to have a headache, get some water. That simple. Your body speaks constantly, right? So if something is disrupting my natural flow of me being productive, I'm like, okay, let me backtrack. What's going on? Somebody then came at me sideways. Let me address this, or, you know, because it's a lot to process. You know, you might not get it initially. You're like, damn, that made me feel some type of way. So when you feel triggered, you got to backtrack and say, you know what? I remember XYZ did this to me a long time ago and it made me feel this type of way. I need to work on making sure that no one can cross me in that area again.
You know what? It's crazy that you said that, because people will tell you because you've experienced this before that it's different. You know what I mean? Like I've been hearing a lot of that lately from people around me, and several people, not just one person. Like, I'm like, you know, this is starting to feel similar to a job I've had, or a relationship I had, or a conversation I had in the past, and the outcome of it wasn't good for me. And then somebody will say, you know, you're holding on to the past. You're always judging. I'm different. I'm not like the things that you've gone through. I'm not like the job that you had before, you know. And how do you address that? You know, you want to believe, but I think we start to know. You're smiling about it because you hear a lot of your.
Well, I'm smiling because I have been affected by that too. So we do hold on to baggage. So we take different things from different relationships and different friendships, good ones and bad things, and we do build up a wall. When it comes to like, oh, this will never happen again. But along the way, you have to learn to kind of let the wall down a little bit, but not all the way, because the red flags are there. Most likely, if it looked like a duck and quacked like a duck, it's a duck. Right. But you're giving people the opportunity to show you, but you never let them get close enough where it's going to affect you individually.
Oh, yeah. I get it. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm just hearing something. You're absolutely correct.
No, I think it's just the volume.
Yes, a volume theory. So, but the balance you were speaking of, what's your name? Lake. I think that's also going to be based on your everyday life. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, I had to take time out. Shane's like, no, I do it. I'll be like, nope, I just got to get up and do it, because you can't expect just because people on your team, on your side, they're going to do everything for you. And you have to learn how to discipline yourself with time management and discipline yourself on your spending habits, because a lot of people don't know how to discipline themselves on their spending habits. We overspend so we can thrive again.
Yeah.
I mean, struggle again. We are taught for survive and not to thrive, and that's crazy. Since school, so you got a test, okay, and it's like, why don't you test a child on what they, where they going on direction, like other countries. Other countries be like, you know what, you ain't gonna be no gymnastics. Let's face the fact. You know what I mean? Let's go here with this.
Let's keep it real. Other countries cheat.
Yeah.
I think we don't even talk about that enough, where we automatically perceive that, oh, this person is so smart. No, a lot of the countries cheat to get here.
Yeah.
So I think that's a layer of understanding that we haven't been privy to. But I've watched it in higher ed that, yes, different cultures say, you're going to be this engineer, you're going to be this doctor. And they, by any means necessary, they're going to make sure you get that. But it's not honest. It's just that we see that America is the best, and that's where you need to be in order to thrive. So I think there are layers of conversations that we have to just be mindful of, that it's not just us, our people.
Yeah.
It get elevated because it's like, let's paint this picture on this one particular community. And then a lot of times we play ourselves against each other.
Oh, all the time.
And we can't operate like that.
No, we can't.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry, Miles.
No, go ahead.
I really had to say this, but I believe these other countries, they're teaching their children way more than what we're doing here in the United States. And when they come over here, they're taking advantage of what we could have or what we had. So our children is not being pushed, for the majority of them. They took away cursive writing out of schools. They don't have books. They're taking away all of the African American history, So other countries are really involved in their kids' education. So the United States do have good schools. So yeah, go to America, go to these colleges and suck up all of the information that you can. We need to push our children to do better. Not saying that you can't be a millionaire without a degree. You can, but you need to know your history. We need to put more into our culture. Our culture is lost.
Yeah, I say that all the time. I tell Shani, if people don't research where they want to go by understanding and doing research of the past of that same place they're trying to go, they're going to miss the whole point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to be in movies, learn about the history of movies.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Shani be like, it look old, I don't want to watch it. So it's like, if we did that with half our food, we would never eat it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because who want to look at a black eyed pea? You look at them and it's looking back at you.
What's wrong with black eyed peas?
You like the way they look?
I grew up on them. I ain't never looked at a black eyed pea and be like,
But Here's
I'm mad at you.
What I've learned though is even eating chicken. You eating chicken and the vein just come out the chicken and hit you on your lip. That's really fucking gross, right? But you tearing that damn chicken up.
It's the seasoning.
Yeah.
So, Arlene.
Yes.
You had a article in the Michigan Chronicle, right? And
Thank you to the Michigan Chronicle. Thank you.
Right. That was dope. So what was the focus of, tell the audience what the article was about and why you were highlighted.
Yes. So let's say about 10 years, there was a bill stuck in Lansing that couldn't get passed based off administration. And it was to support regulating pretty much dietitians and nutritionists in the region to make sure that they are just what you said, they're speaking truths. There aren't any myths. Anybody shouldn't be able to pop out and be a nutritionist or a registered dietitian. So that's set for 10 years. And thankfully, last year it got passed by Governor Whitmer. And one of my colleagues was very instrumental in making sure that bill got passed last year. And I believe it was in April. And then based off of a bill being passed, you have to establish a licensure board. And licensure board will incorporate, people who are in the industry, people who are, outward facing. That's where I come in with my community engagement, because by no means am I a nutritionist or a dietitian, but I do believe my impact prior to that with supporting the Future of Health, which is a partnership between Michigan State University Health Sciences and Henry Ford Health, helped me leverage the influence and have, because that was brutal. We had to go through a community benefit ordinance with the city of Detroit. Any development in Detroit that reaches over $75 million or seeking any tax incentives has to go through a neighborhood advisory committee. It's like 9 weeks of hearings, outreach, campaigning, door-to-door knocking, just tapping into the community, listening. Detroit has a history of developers coming in and not doing good business. They'll just forget about you. There's a lot of gentrification that has happened over the years. There's been a lot of promises broken. So in 2019, City Council, led by Councilmember Benson, made sure that the community benefit ordinance was highlighted and elevated so that Detroiters can reap the benefits of developers versus kind of just, scattered about and forgotten about. So I think that outreach and that process really helped me flourish in my career, which allowed me to be in this position that I'm in right now with the inaugural licensure board for the state of Michigan.
Now you're right now, that was great. Clap, clap, clap. And thank you, because when people find, that sounds like passion.
Yeah.
I ain't knocking on nobody's doors. I don't want to be in no fundraisers. I don't want to do nothing but go home. I just want to go home. And so you seen something and you fought for it. And you were a part of this for 10 years?
Well, I've been in higher ed for 10 years. This is my 10-year anniversary of higher ed.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, I love learning. I love education. I love once you walk in the door and you can really articulate and speak to any topic, of course you want to be able to dig deep, but I've been in higher ed for 10 years. But my community engagement work probably started maybe about 4 years ago.
So where do you go from here with that?
Woo, that's a good question. That's a good question. So where do I go from here? So right now I'm really trying to learn as much as I can, because I don't pretend to know everything. I don't. And I think from that perspective, you can make some change, right? So my goal is to be myself and show up myself everywhere that I go. There have been seasons of my life where I had to code switch, where I had to kind of assimilate and, excuse this term, drink the Kool-Aid and be like, yeah, I can figure it out. But I feel like maybe it's age that I'm just like, listen, this is who I am. Take me for who I am. It's about 20 of me's out here that need to know that you can start from the bottom and build your career and excel. Being true to yourself.
So, and that piggybacks, LaJoy.
Yes.
When people are afraid to start over, okay, so we have this on June 14th. I can't see that far. I didn't know I was going to have to put my glasses on. Okay, on June 14th, we are having a mental health and awareness fair, the 3rd annual mental health and awareness fair, and it's going to be on East McNichols. O'Brien Park?
Yes.
I'm like, I live off of East McNichols, but I don't live that far.
That's 40205.
I'm 03.
Yeah.
So what is this wellness fair about?
Just overall mental health, just well-being, and a healthy balance. We have several different companies that will be there giving out COVID tests, lead tests, doing kidney checks. We'll have the mobile dental, the mobile doctors there, engaging with the community. Okay. Give them some different resources that they may not have.
Wow, I love that.
I love it.
All right.
And I'm going to tell you why I love it. In the work that I do, it's important that we see people who look like us talking to us about our health. Mm-hmm. There are so many things that are misdiagnosed or ignored. Mm-hmm. Even to this day, it goes, we have a lot of history, like the Tuskegee issues, the Henrietta, Flack incidents, and all of these different things. I think it's important in my work that I get youth involved in their bodies and their wellness and their health. So I appreciate Ms. LaJoy doing the work, because we need to see ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Now, one of the things we're going to do to see ourselves, we're going to take a moment for a commercial.
Yes. Amen. Clock that.
Well, clock it. We'll be right back, guys.
Clock it.
Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with the growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcastic, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
I pray that my love for you is bigger than what my parents have.
So you must be my daughter's new friend?
Candy, let me ask you a question.
Oh, so this him? This the man that comforts you more than me?
Mama, all men ain't like daddy.
That's not fair!
So I'm gonna be like Queen Latifah and these bitches set it off. I ain't risking my life for little $2,000. We got $1 million in the hood. Somebody gonna fuck around and rob that motherfucker. You see a bitch, and smack a bitch.
Hey, real quick, I know you guys are enjoying the show. Yes, we are always having a good time on the Rise and Grind show. But please, do me a favor. Go to YouTube, type in Rise and Grind Morning Show. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Therefore, you can always be in tune with our live content and interact with us, be in the comments, and we can keep bringing dope, hot content to you. Now, we're going right back to the show.
Hey, it's Fat Lakey. How y'all doing? We are back here on Podcastic, and we are talking about healthy balances. And I'm trying to find mine, y'all. We have these amazing guests here. We have Miss. I have a question. Do people call you Arlene sometimes?
They call me Arlen. Yeah. I've heard Arlene.
So I'm like, Arlen. Like,
yeah. So.
And Miss LaJoy here. We are talking about healthy balance. We have an amazing health fair coming up on June 14th. That is the Saturday before Father's Day. And I want to remind people to take care of their fathers. I think is something that maybe we should change in our community as well.
Yes.
As far as shining on our black men and making sure that those who need to be appreciated are appreciated. And Father's Day is a great way to do that. And it's right in the hood. So take your dad, because a lot of our black men don't want to take care of their health. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those kidneys need to be checked.
Yeah.
Tests need to be done. Those teeth need to be taken care of. If you want to know some of the source of some of your bad health issues, it starts with your oral health.
Yes.
That I do know, and I don't need to sing you a reel about it. It's the truth. Take care of your teeth.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So one of the things I realized as I'm getting older, we was talking about having health professionals that look like us.
Yeah.
I go to I would say it's like a group. I go to Epic Healthcare. I haven't been able to find a doctor yet, but they've been doing okay by me. But I realize my power in no.
Yes.
When I go in there, first thing they say is, we want to do an EKG. And I'm like, I come in here every 3 months. You want to do an EKG every 3 months. Like, why are you keep pushing this test on me? And then she was like, well, if you're not going to do this, you need to do this. We need to check this. And I'm like, I had to tell the young lady, it was a young Asian lady. I said, you know, I'm starting to feel less like I'm in a healthcare office and more like I'm in a car sales office. Like, you are constantly pushing these things on me that I am not willing to accept, because I had a really hard battle over COVID to get to where I am. I was having respiratory issues. I was having gut issues. I was having heart issues, you know, and it was a long journey to get here to 2025, and we're not recognizing that. You know what I mean? Like, I had blood pressure 200 plus over 100 plus, and now I'm at 120 over 80, you know? And I told her, I know, right? Amen. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to be here until 86. And I was asking her, like, why you keep trying to push these things on me?
Well, you know, it's money.
Yeah.
It's all about the money. They can build the insurance companies every so many months for EKGs. And so it goes back to being knowledgeable of what you're doing and what the doctors are asking of you. So the more you do research and ask questions, just don't go with the first thing the doctor tells you.
Right.
Get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Sometimes a third opinion. You know, so I don't take all the pills they give me. Every time I go to the doctor, they give me another pill. And this pill caused this side effect, then I got to take another pill. So I just do my own research. I believe in natural stuff, natural pills or organic, changing your lifestyle. That's all part of the healthy balance, learning what is good for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I applaud you for that pushback, right? Because we automatically look and say, oh, this doctor knows A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But with the shortage of doctors and healthcare professionals, the amount of time you get to spend in front of a physician is very short. You're usually kind of triage and they're moving you around in the system.
Right.
Bring your notebook of your list of things that has been, you know, bothering you or concerning you, and there are changes as you go through different things. Come prepared.
Right. And I think, like, as when I was younger, I was afraid to, like, say no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as I get older, like, I can tell them no. I'm paying for it, right?
That's correct.
You know, like, what I need, how are we gonna take care of things? Because I one of the things I noticed, this was probably about 2.5 years ago or so. They put me on the diabetic medication. And we were talking about weight loss and things like that, and it caused so many health problems for me.
I bet.
You know, and so many people, like, they have these great stories to tell. People just look sick to me, though. I'll be honest with you. Like, but I had kidney issues, you know what I mean? I had a lot of different things going on with me, and I'm like, wow, but I never had diabetes. Like, you're pushing this medication on me. And the young lady asked me if I wanted to try it again. It took everything in me to not jump over that table. I'm like, you know, like, you ever had a stent put in your kidney before? You know what I mean? Like, you want to try it again?
You know, the society that we live in today, everybody is vain. So they're doing it to lose weight. They're doing it for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
You know, so that's going to cause metformin do affect your kidneys. It do affect other organs. So now they have this Ozempic and Wegovy. And so they make it so high that you can't afford it. Ozempic costs maybe like $1,900 for one tube, right? So they came up with a second one, Wegovy, that's supposed to be generic, but it's cheaper. You know, the weight loss is important, but it's not that important that you're going to compromise all of your inner organs just to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? When all you have to do is work out.
Right.
You know, walk. Fresh air and all of these things is healthy, and it helps you with the health balance.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I don't think, realize that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much of a difference going outside makes just in your daily life. Like, that's the one thing I do have to tell my child.
Yeah.
If you don't go outside and just stand there, you know, he don't have anybody in the neighborhood that I would like him to play with, but
safety is first.
Just stand out there. You know, like, today is going to be a beautiful day, guys. And if the one thing I love about the city of Detroit is we have a beautiful city.
Yes,
you know, and we have the water. I was at Mumford's graduation at Shane Park yesterday, and I was just looking at the beauty of the river. The water looked blue. It may have not been blue underneath, but it was just a perfect backdrop on a perfect day. And I'm like, gosh, I gotta get down there and just walk the river walk. Now that is something I probably need right now.
Yeah, water is relaxing.
And it's of no cost.
No cost.
It's not $1,900 like Ozempic.
Oh, I know, right?
I'm all about cost savings. So I agree with you on get out and enjoy the natural elements. I will say there has been studies shown that trees actually have healing properties. So during this process of getting the hospital expansion with Henry Ford, community organizations were like, make sure you have green and trees and space where people can get out and do yoga and activate, because it does something to our body, to our mental, to our psyche. You know, so get out there, get active.
Now, what other advice? All three of us are single moms, and guys, you know, I know there's some single dads, and even for married couples, but I run into chronic laziness because I feel like the majority of my life is always running. So when I decompress, that's why I'm like, I don't feel balanced at all. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I get home, I'm right on the couch, and I'm clocking, I'm watching, I'm clocking. Like, I think Friday night I watched all of Forever. Like, I'm like, gosh, that was 8 hours. I think I was like, I think I watched like 5, 6, like episode 5, 6, 7, and 8. But I was like, that was 4 hours of my life. And I loved it. But I'm like, gosh, you didn't move. You did not move. You know what I mean? And I don't know how to intertwine that in my life.
It's hard, but you have to do it. So what I do is when I get off of work, before I go home, I'm going to do everything I want to do. I'm going to go to the park. Because once I go in, I'm in. You know, so you have to try to make time for you. You know what I'm saying? So just going to the park and take your son, maybe you ought to walk around the track for a couple of laps.
Mm-hmm.
Just being out people watching, then go home, pick up something to eat and go home.
Yeah, that sounds like me. Some days I just feel like I ain't did it. And my mom be like, how do you feel like you didn't do? Like you, this weekend they changed my name to Lake Be Everywhere. like you be everywhere. Like when do you have a chance to like slow down? But I feel like I be slowing down. But I don't have a balance, you know. The foods that I love, I'm told I can't have.
And that's
everybody want to talk about you because you do want to go to Burger King, and I love a Whopper, you know what I mean? But then Whopper gives you worms, you know, like everything that is. It seems like everything is being taken away from you. It's not fun being old.
I'll say older.
It's not fun being older.
It's older. You're not old, but give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Like, it's going to take some time to build into your day and your life exactly what you need. It's going to take some time, but make sure you don't neglect yourself.
That's the key.
That I think that is the key. Now, one of the conversations that's been going on social media is like joy versus happiness. Do you see them as two different things?
Yes.
I definitely do. I feel joy hits different than happiness. I feel joy they're both necessary, but I feel joy is a gift from God. And I'm right now dedicating this year, 2025, to having the fruit of the Spirit. And joy is in there. So anything that's coming is going to be stopped and halted by the joy that I've been working on all year. So happiness is great. It's necessary. I think people can add to your happiness, but don't let them take your happiness away. But they hit different.
And what about you, Joy?
Well, I agree. Happiness and joy hits differently. But the key is don't let nobody take your happiness or destroy your joy, because they will. You know, people can come around you and leave their dark cloud and take away your positive energy. That happens all the time. And you wonder like, oh, I was happy until this person came over. Now they leave, you're sad. You're like, because they didn't drain your positive energy and they done left their dark cloud.
Yeah.
So you got to be very careful who you allow yourself to be around. That is part of the healthy balance as well.
I totally agree, because people, well, it is fortunately enough and unfortunately, I don't get like that. People they can leave their energy right there where they sat, and it's not going to mess up my day unless they told me something that bothered both of us. You know what I mean? They could sit up here and try to drop the most saddest bomb. I'd be like, oh, that's messed up. Shannon, you ready? You know what I mean? And the only reason is why, because I've been through enough in my life already. Not to anybody. I lived through 52 summers in Detroit, Michigan. You know what I mean? So that's an accomplishment. So I'm not going to let nobody mess up my life, in a sense, unless it's done by me. You know what I mean? I don't care what nobody's going through, but if I care about them, they don't have to go through it by themselves. If that make any sense.
Yes, it does.
I don't want to sound like I'm just a complete asshole, but I could care less what people go through in the sense of, because they're giving me a sob story. And I think majority of the time when people start to say it and say it out loud, they start to realize, like, damn, I'm the problem. Because majority of the time, if you're going through something, it's your damn fault. Unless you're about to lose a limb or something like that, car accident. But I tell my female friends, you had a baby by 3 times, and you've seen everything that you're complaining about. It's your fault. You know what I mean? Why did they want to be out here having 3 different baby daddies? I said, well, maybe you would have stopped at that one once you realize, until you fix yourself. I believe once people start fixing themselves, they realize, like, okay, I'm not about to do that.
Yeah.
So what? So what? I don't care about no flowers.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. What was your intentions? Like when people say, Miles, I heard this about you. What was it? Why did they tell you that? I just want to know what was their intentions. I don't know, but they said, I said, listen, whatever they said, I'm pretty sure it's true. on their part. You know what I mean? How they perceive things. You know what I mean?
Right.
We could all four of us in this room could sit down and watch a movie and get 20 different opinions about it and views of it, and it's only because we want to be somewhat. If we watching somebody, we want to be somewhat where they are. Mm-hmm. You know, we want to be them, but we want to be where they are.
Yeah.
The only reason why people become fans of something because they want to have the aspirations or the dreams or the vision to be somewhere with that person is. And I learned that because I tell people this all the time. I've been famous twice. And in the process, when people thought I was famous, I wasn't. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But when I was, they didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, y'all don't get, like, I can really change this? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, you just do flyers, you know what I mean? Or you just do this. But not realizing this is some shit you can't do. Mm-hmm. And if you come to me and paying me to do it, how about if you know more people, we can come together and we can create a bigger thing.
Right.
They don't see it like that.
No.
Like, talking about health, they're like, well, shit, all you gotta do is just don't eat pork. If you don't sit your ass down, it takes more than that.
Yes, it takes more than that.
And then what you say about Chinese people to let it be 75, 80 years old, eat pork all their whole life.
Yeah.
Well, I get it. You don't get it. They eat a real pig while you eating something that's been processed over and over and over again.
Yes.
They don't even sell that kind of meat in other countries.
No.
I bought some Oreos from. I'm about to sound fat. I bought some Oreos from the Jewish store on Greenfield and 10 Mile, and then I was like, damn, I want to get these, and it had a red strip on it on the back. Mm-hmm. And I was like looking for them. Then I said, hold on, let me go to my car. I went and God said, I want these. I said, oh, we don't sell those here.
No.
I said, okay, I got these. These got the rest of them. You know, I ain't get them from here. I went and looked at them things. It was more than half of the ingredients. Mm-hmm. So I bought them, and they taste different.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting up here like, wow.
Yeah.
They are really poisoning us on purpose. Like, capitalism is the worst thing that ever happened to us.
Yeah, it is. But you know what surprises me? They say, well, we got a shortage on chicken wings. Mm-hmm. How do we got a shortage on chicken wings, but we got enough legs and thighs? Don't they only come two wings on the bird?
Well, here's the thing. Something.
Okay.
Well, dig this. Some of the chickens that was manufactured.
Yes.
Didn't have no lower torsos. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They only had the wing.
Yeah.
And they was born with a dilapidated brain. They couldn't even cluck. They couldn't do nothing. Mm-hmm. They were just making sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the crazy part. We just gotta watch what we put in our mouth.
Yeah. Yes. And then you keep in mind that the things that we're eating, and then there is a lack of activity. Mm-hmm. Like you look at other countries, they're walking every day. Every day. And you look at Detroit and our transportation crises that we have here, we should be walking around a bit more. Yeah. You know, we should be moving our bodies. So
Lake exercise a lot too. I come in here for that. But like we just talking about things you need to stop putting in your mouth.
I heard you talking about you been famous twice. I wasn't around either one of those times. Uh-huh. Oh no. And
just be careful.
We out of wings.
Just be careful.
We got a shortage of wings. That's because I ate them all.
Like, just be careful what you put in your mouth. Okay.
You know what? I'm very careful with what I put in my mouth.
I'm glad you.
Don't worry about my mouth. I keep telling you. You don't listen.
Take me off a screen, Shani. I'm done.
Okay, please. Bye and thank you.
I said off a screen.
I am trying to make a conscious effort to be more healthy. Mm-hmm. People don't realize, though, it is discouraging when everybody wants to teach and tell you about what's healthy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if I say, oh, I'm going on a walk today because, you know, I'm trying to get my steps up, somebody be like, well, you need to do more than 10,000. You need to do 15 at your body. And I'll be like, God damn, I'm aiming for 6. But you're going to knock down my measly 10. I mean, we don't do enough encouraging.
No.
You know, and going back to the reels, everybody think that they're a health professional. You know what I mean? And it's like, I want to talk to those who really research. Mm-hmm. You know, I have friend who, like, when it comes to like butter, like when we talk about healthy fats and things like that, you know, and then somebody else will be like, you know, if somebody eating butter like that, then they should be fat, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, well, that person isn't, and it works for them. You know what I mean? Their cholesterol is low. Everything is something.
Yeah, it's not a one size fit all. You really have to, again, do your research, and everybody has a different blood type. Everybody has, you know, a history of certain things in their family. Now, if you have a history of cancer, I recommend that you go out and be proactive in terms of making sure you are straight. You know? But someone might not. So it's not a one size fit all approach.
Right.
But I will say, Black Americans are disproportionately impacted by cardiovascular diseases, which I feel is contributed to a lack of access of quality food. Detroit is known as a food desert. We're getting better, but things that are accessible to us and families, if you don't have transportation, you're going to go to the gas station, you're going to grab it. I was one of those kids. I'm going to pick up some chips and some pop and some Kool-Aid and all of these different things as a baby. And then these are habits that I've incorporated in my life. Over time, I've had to wean myself off of those things. But just imagine if you had a healthy food market on every corner. Like we got every liquor store, every church.
That's great.
And it's kind of sad. I was going to the food pantry, or I am going to the food pantry every week, because they did give a lot of fruits and vegetables weekly. They gave us a letter like, there's a food shortage. You know, because people, like those tomatoes and those peppers and the mushrooms that they was giving, I was making, you know, Miles will tell you, for breakfast, he'd have like a stir-fry vegetable skillet. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, because I love like people who eat your colors. You know what I mean? Like if you don't know what to eat, eat something green, eat something orange, eat something red. You know what I mean? And you'll be amazed at how much better you feel, you know? But I am trying to slowly change some things. Like I bought me some vegan Caesar dressing.
All right.
and it's one of those things, because like as I'm getting older, my gut health has changed. You know, so the dairy isn't processing, you know, the way it should. And I know like that's one of the things we're supposed to stay away from anyway, you know what I'm saying? But like, because as a child, I wasn't forced to drink milk or and all those extra things. So now it's like my body has developed a lactose allergy, you know, even though I can't have a taco without sour cream. I'm just going to have to pay for it. Who wants a cheeseless taco?
Balance.
Right.
Balance.
Yeah. Balance is eating it at home so I can be closer to my bathroom.
Okay. In peace. Okay. You're going to eat it in peace.
Speaking of tacos, real quick, I want to give a shout out to
it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. And I can't even think of, I feel so bad. I can't even think of the truck's name. It's a black owned taco truck on the corner of 8 Mile and Gratiot. And me and my brother went there on Friday, and I erased all their information off my phone. But it sits right there on Gratiot and 8 Mile at the gas station there. And I have to say it's probably one of the best tasting tacos. I mean, if black people could do anything, we could do everything, I swear, because there's no reason why we should have been killing tacos like that, but we did. And I absolutely enjoyed myself. So it is Taco Tuesday. Oh, Big Bites Street Food Truck.
Okay.
Big Bite Street Food Truck right on the corner of 8 Mile and Gratiot.
I gotta make it there.
You're gonna be so happy you did. I swear, you're gonna be so happy. Now I forget that 8 Mile is such a drive. Yeah. It seemed like it took us forever. I lived near 75. It was like a hike to get there, but it was worth it.
It's worth it, huh?
And and I like to support our businesses because a lot of times, a lot of the food trucks that we see are ran by the same people who run our gas stations and liquor stores. So I often wonder about the ingredients and things that's being put in. Now, the one thing I will say, for those who do not eat pork, one of the great things about Arab Americans running these trucks is because you don't have to worry about that aspect. You know what I'm saying? A lot of their products will be halal, definitely beef, no pork. So you got to give them love for that. But and speaking of Arabic people, you know, we should be mindful of going to some of their grocery stores.
Yes.
And they're right on Warren. You know, it's not far at all, because they do take pride in where their food is grown and how they are selling it to their people and their neighborhood. You know, so, and it's inexpensive.
But the sad part, the markets inside of the inner city
are owned by them, and they give us the bad food.
They give us the bad food.
Yeah, they do.
And the higher prices, so
Yes.
there's
Yes.
inflation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for a small quart of
He said those are Chaldeans. I just said Arab Americans. I didn't say one thing or another. You okay?
Maybe you should. You cool?
You were saying like higher prices at Burns Food.
Yeah, you know, they'll go to the food pantry and get those vegetables that you were talking about, bring them to the inner city and sell them to us for $1.
Yeah, they will.
You know what I'm saying? And because, like you say, most people don't have transportation to get to these markets or Walmart, so you're paying for the convenience.
Right.
So they're charging you for heavy whipping cream $7.
Man, they redid a grocery store in my neighborhood right on 8 Mile in DeQuinder. And when they did they redo, I'm like, are we paying for this?
Yes, you are.
I mean, oh my gosh, like a store that I used to visit frequently for decades. Literally, like a quart of heavy whipping cream, $7. I forgot what I was trying to make. Hey, caller, how you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Dorian?
Doing well. How are you, Lake?
I'm fine. It's good.
It's good to hear that. Good to hear that.
It's good to hear your voice. You have 2 minutes. What's going on?
Yeah, when we were talking about the grocery stores that the Arabs or Muslims own. Well, we have to take it back and make it real quick. You know they're merchants, right? They don't create or make anything.
Right.
So in their mind, they're the ultimate, what they say, the ultimate hustler. So it's up to us to understand that the only way a merchant ever thrives in a community is what we give them. And so what we have to do, even if you know that neighbor down the street, that old lady that come on, get in the car, I'm gonna take you somewhere else. So you go grocery shopping. So you don't go buy food that's been spoiled and give them their money and get disrespected all in the same time. And so we have to understand the purchase power of ourselves, but it's also a convenience factor.
Yes.
And, you know, like I said before, the only way to hurt a merchant is through his pockets.
That is true.
So as we as people must, and this is not just black folks, this is just what I'm talking about, poor people in general. We are cannon fodder of the world. We must understand that in a capitalist society, nothing move without the money.
Right.
Nothing moves without the money. And it's better now that we can, I tell anybody like this, if you can grow weed in your backyard, right? The government, isn't that interesting? The state of Michigan allow you to grow 12 plants per person. Imagine if you grew 12 stalks of corn or some tomatoes or some lettuce. We don't have to grow those things. And yeah, Monsanto is going to try to stop it all. But let's start doing more community gardening, more community. And I was telling someone, my neighbor the other day, we were talking about socialism, and he's like, oh, that shit doesn't work. And I'm like, bullshit, yes it does, because what if we had a co-op grocery store
We
can
do.
employ your kids, and everybody in the neighborhood owns it, or whoever works at the grocery store actually owns it.
But I'll tell you this: we have a co-op.
Shameless, yep. Shameless
Yeah,
plug.
we need more.
Right, we do need more, but one of the hard things about the co-op is that they should expensive too. but it's amazing quality.
Yeah.
And it's worth me. It's worth me stopping after work into the co-op. You guys need to try. If you haven't been to the People's Co-op on Woodward, near Euclid, I would say. Stop in. If not, they have great lunch. Like if you could go to Whole Foods for lunch, they have hot lunches as well, where somebody's in there cooking every day that look like you. You know. And what I love about Whole Foods, they look like us too. That's back there cooking.
They do. And that's the whole thing. Like, yeah, you may spend a little bit of money for a watermelon that has seeds in it, but it's probably organic and it's natural. And that's like you say, yeah, but you'll go to Myers and spend $10 and get that one that once you cut it open, no seeds and it's not sweet.
Right.
So sometimes the best thing to do is our community and making the most of our grocery stores. And there should be no food deserts in Detroit if we did it that way. I would rather us for it to be for capitalistic purposes or survival and thriving purposes. And I feel like a socialist co-op grocery store should be owned by the community.
I agree.
And so, and if your son needs a job, he can work there, and then not only work there to make some money, but hey, whatever profit we made, we share.
You get kickback.
Like I always tell people, it's always something about having skin in the game. You know, but that's all I wanted to leave you with. I know my little 2 minutes.
Been up.
3 minutes.
But you are appreciated, and thank you for calling in.
Yes.
All right. See you soon. Yeah, that's a great point, you know, about having more when you talk about healthy balance. But the crazy part is, I'll tell y'all, I tried. This year was going to be my year to grow because I have land.
Oh, right now.
And I don't have it. All 72 of my plants died. I was growing them inside and it was getting so pretty and so beautiful. And then I tried to transfer them outside, and I don't know how to turn dirt. The only holes I know is how to sail. I don't have a hole. I'm like, my mama looking out her window cracking up. Because I just knew I was going to turn over this dirt and get some good soil. Man, all types of vines and stuff started popping out. I don't know what tools I need to do this. I had one shovel and a pitchfork, I think. I don't even know if I had a... And my mama looking... Because we have like 2.5 lots in between our house. So my mom's literally looking out the window like cracking up, because I'm not an outdoors person. I was not the kid who helped with the lawn or anything. So she was trying to figure out how I was going to grow these vegetables. Well, needless to say, I didn't. But I was just thinking when he was talking, I'm like, I'm about to go to Home Depot and get me some 5-gallon buckets and try again.
Yes, keep trying.
Like, keep trying. Because I did it over COVID.
Yeah.
I had peppers, cucumbers, and tomatoes that grew beautifully. But, you know, like, you didn't have anything to do.
Yes.
So I was sitting in the dirt. I was praying with my vegetables. I sold seeds and everybody's names. And like that. They were just such amazing plants. But now, like, I got 10 minutes. My vegetables like, we ain't gonna grow for you in 10 minutes. It ain't about to happen. And it all went to hell quickly. Damn. I know. But I'm gonna try again.
But you put forth the effort. You know.
I'm gonna try again. Because I have noticed in our community when we talk about gentrification and things, a lot of white people are buying the land in our neighborhoods and starting their gardens.
Yes.
Now they can grow some damn food, but they ain't sharing. You know, they gonna sell it to us too.
Yeah, they
you know, like.
Yeah. So I am the president of LaSalle Community College Park Association. So I have 57 blocks up under me. So one of the things that I'm implementing is a community garden. on my block. So I've even thought about even getting a couple of chickens. You know what I'm saying? And so the community will have some place to go, and we can feed our own people like us. You know, some good vegetables, some eggs that's not $9 a dozen. You know what I'm saying? So trying to bring back the unity within the neighborhood.
Yeah,
That's important.
I have friends, my 4th Street friends. They live at a dead end, and they're all majority white people. They have chickens that walk the neighborhood. And they get their eggs from that. Everybody grows, and then they swap in their little block area. I have greens over here. I have tomatoes over here. You know what I mean? I can't eat it all. Like, let's swap and I love that for them. But like you say, it's what about us? Like, what are we gonna do for us to make it better? You know? So but if anybody want to come, help me with these
vegetables.
You know,
vegetables. Yeah, absolutely. I really want to get into that. I attempted during COVID to, plant some good collard greens because I'm cold with the collard greens, baby. But I had little things come in and take on them and bite through them. I'm like, and I lost hope.
That's another thing. I think it's a damn groundhog in my and I don't know where he came from. I don't know where these wild animals are coming from at all. Like, it's getting worse. I think we got a possum, a groundhog.
Oh, wow.
We've had a family of rabbits for about 10 years. But that trying to keep those out too is also discouraging as well. I'm like, I'll just do like some herbs. Let the birds get to them. I don't know. I can't win for losing out here. I did have somebody just text me and said that they have gardening classes at Liberated Farms. This is my book club. They said I can come out and join them.
Nice.
There's a Keep Growing Detroit. Is that my phone? No. So it's a few resources out here for anybody who wants to get out there and start growing. I just like, you know me, I always go back to I just need a man out here to help me.
Okay.
I need somebody to turn the dirt and a tank top.
And some boots.
And some boots. No shirt. Some blue jeans and some boots.
What about a cowboy hat?
A cowboy hat would definitely work for me. That will be everything. I'd be like, where the fans at? I'm good with making lemonade, drinking water.
Those things.
Yes, and I would be remiss if I did not mention Michigan State University Extension, DP Fly, which they are in Brightmoor, for those who are politically correct. They offer opportunities for you to understand how to garden, and I say take advantage of it. I haven't made it there just yet, but a great community asset.
I love when people are taking the opportunity to just do better. Real quick, talk about doing better. Mental Health and Awareness Fair. You guys, if you have the time, please go. You should have the time. It's from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Especially if you feel like your insurance is not right or something doesn't feel right about you. These free fairs is a great way to give yourself the push that you may need, because it may be something like you say they're doing lead tests.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that they still have lead in their homes, and it's a great opportunity to make sure, like, if that little sickness that you feeling or that cough that won't go away may be caused by something that's in your house, because a lot of times a lot of things that are killing us we can't see.
Yes, correct.
So be mindful of those things, please, 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 and thank you. If you can get out there, that will be great for you.
Yes.
So
blood pressure.
Yes.
Check them numbers.
And I was telling people all the time, you know, they always want to talk about weight loss when it comes to me. And I just had to explain to somebody it's never been about weight loss. I mean, for one, if you know the amount of clothes that I have, you know, it would be kind of depressing to be 220 because I won't be able to fit my clothes anymore. And I don't, Shein done got tariff calls, so I don't know how to get my gear back up. I'm gonna have to go to the Salvation Army and get rid of everything. But
wrong with the, thrift day.
But heart health, blood pressure, is the reason why I'm doing it. You know, that I get out and I take that walk, or I'm going to Platinum Fitness and lifting those weights, because the joy in seeing my numbers, you know, was a heck of an accomplishment. And originally, like, mine came from stress.
Yes.
A certain amount of stress that was job provoked. And I did have to change my career path to make sure that I didn't have that type of weight on me. You know, but that weight almost put me in a hospital and almost took me out of here. And it took 5 years to get to a healthy number. I'm just happy that I didn't have any long-term residual effects from it. So if you can stop it, stop it. We are going to be getting out of here soon, ladies, but I would like you to tell the people how to follow you, and how you can help themselves.
Well, I can be followed on lmhealingumbrella.org. I can help you find, I'm the shelter from life storms. So when you're going through something in life, you know, that you feel like you just can't handle, I'm here. Call me, set up an appointment, and we can work something out to help you get through whatever it is you're going through.
Yes, I like that. The shelter.
Right.
From the storm.
I think she sold me on that, because I'm in a storm right now. And you, Miss Lady?
Yeah, so you can find me via email. So it's DAILEYAR@msu.edu. I am starting this journey of helping my community, helping my people, serving the community, bringing everybody in who I can, because I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. So.
Right. And she's also a Chippewa. We want to put that out. Fire up chips. And guys, once again, I am your host, Lake Butler. I am here every Tuesday, unless I'm doing a depression day. But usually I am here every Tuesday. This is my therapy, and I love you guys so much. Please make sure that you get out there today and love on yourself. I don't necessarily believe in sunscreen, but somebody put in the chat, make sure that you put your sunscreen on today if you're going to be out there. You say it's necessary.
Well, I was going to speak to the summer myths. There is this myth that Black Americans do not burn, and we do.
We do.
So apply it. If you lose it, reapply it. But it is a necessary. Skin cancer is something for Black Americans, but it has not been amplified as much as it should be. So, and hydrate.
Hydrate and use your sunscreen. So on that note, I'm going to go out and get me some Black Girl sunscreen, because they do make that, and it's an amazing lotion. But I am your girl, Lake Butler. I will be back here next Tuesday. Tune in at 1-ish today. We're going to be restreaming an episode of Stream Today. Deuces. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Monday through Friday, great conversation, guest appearances, 'cause you